the January 6th committee made their primetime debut last night. And I said it on this show yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. The individuals who chose to unlawfully break into the U.S. Capitol building should not be seen as any type of peaceful protester. What they did was un-American, and they should be held accountable with the full measure of the law. We should never be dismissive of how wrong their actions were. And we're going to discuss legitimacy of last night's hearing in just a minute, but stick with me. The problem with politics sometimes is that it gets political. If a topic is good for re-election and the narrative, it makes the list of talking points. If it doesn't, well, then it either gets blacklisted or deemed as unimportant. Now, both sides do this. Just like Democrats had a hard time condemning the violence that took place in the summer of 2020, there's no doubt hypocrisy. But there is a narrative circulating that Americans care more about other things than what happened on January 6th. I don't like this narrative because it suggests Americans can only handle caring about one thing at a time, which I would beg to suggest just isn't true. They can care and feel the real pain at the pump or the grocery store or worry about feeding their baby each day. I mean, these are real concerns that this administration has found themselves flat-footed on, doesn't have an answer for. And that breaks my heart for Americans who are suffering because of poor leadership and, frankly, bad policies. But I would also say that Americans care about getting answers. And I'm not sure we got any answers last night in that hearing, which frustrates me as an American because I also want answers. I want to know what happened on that tragic day. But you know what we did get last night? We got to hear from a young police officer, Caroline Edwards, who put her life on the line to protect our Capitol on January 6th. Not to protect just Democrats, not to protect just Republicans. She was doing her job. She said nothing partisan last night that I heard. She just detailed her horrific experience. Listen.
They were bleeding. They were throwing up. They were, they had, I saw friends with blood all over their faces. I was slipping in people's blood. I'm trained to detain, a couple of subjects and handle a crowd, but I'm not combat trained.
She's a hero. Just like we deem all the police officers who were put in harm's way during the violent riots and the mobs of the summer of 2020 and those who continue daily to put their lives on the line for our safety, they are all heroes. But sadly, I have yet to hear a conservative actually speak up for Officer Edwards, and that's unfortunate. And that's where we must distinguish between the theater of politics and the truth. And I thank her and all police officers who were put in harm's way that day. Well, Officer Caroline Edwards' unit was not prepared, as she pointed out, for a battle-like scenario. But you know who is? The National Guard. So why weren't they there? Because on January 3rd, 2021, President Donald Trump actually approved the activation of the D.C. National Guard to support law enforcement on the 6th. And then the next day, the Capitol Police confirmed there was no requirement for the Department of Defense support. On the 5th, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser confirmed again that there was no need for additional support. That is, until 3:26 p.m. on January 6th. After the attacks on the Capitol, it was well underway. Muriel Bowser and the Metropolitan Police Department finally approved of the activation of the full D.C. National Guard. A little late. Why was the support denied until it was too late? Why were highly sensitive areas of the Capitol building left vulnerable? And who is responsible for those missteps? Those are just some of the questions this partisan committee has yet to touch that I have seen. Well, our next guest was one of the 5 House Republicans that Kevin McCarthy suggested that Nancy Pelosi have on this committee that was rejected. He says this investigation is far from over. Joining us now with the very latest ranking member on the House Administration Committee, Illinois Congressman Rodney Davis. Congressman, thank you for being here with us. So originally you were supposed to be on this committee hearing. Last night you weren't, obviously, because Nancy Pelosi rejected you. What were your thoughts and your feelings? Did you watch last night?
I did not get to watch, Lindsay, and I was actually flying home from Washington, D.C. While it was going on, and then driving the rest of the way. So I've seen the highlights, and I really want to commend you for putting forth that intro on how important the Capitol Police are. be it Officer Edwards or the hundreds of officers that I see every day on the Capitol complex. Look, Lyndsay, I owe my life to two brave Capitol police officers, David Bailey and Crystal Griner, because some left-wing inspired gunman decided to come and try and kill me and my friends on a baseball field a few years ago. They're my heroes.
I'm so glad you point that out, and a great for our audience to hear how they have protected your life personally. Have you been frustrated that you were rejected to be on this committee? The Democrats keep saying, hey, we put two Republicans on here, but ultimately, as I mentioned, they rejected the 5 original suggestions. Has that been frustrating to you? Did you want to be on that committee?
I did, because we would have actually asked the questions that you brought up. Why was the Capitol and the security posture in and around the Capitol at such at such a bad place that it put our men and women in the Capitol Police in danger? I mean, we've seen through investigations that have been bipartisan in the Senate that intelligence was given from the Norfolk FBI office to the Capitol Police Intelligence Division, and it wasn't relayed to superiors or even the Oversight Committee like us. This select committee I voted against creating because I knew it would turn into a partisan circus if Speaker Pelosi did what she did. And she didn't seat us, didn't seat 2 members of the committee, which is unprecedented. And that is something that has never happened in the history of the House. We saw the reason why last night. She wanted one narrative, and that was it.
So you actually sent a letter to January 6th Committee Chairman Benny Thompson requesting the preservation of all documents related to January 6th. Are you signaling a future counter investigation?
Absolutely, because we've uncovered evidence that the Select Committee, which has spent more of taxpayer dollars than even our Veterans Affairs Committee has this year, these are expenses that need to be looked into. We've also uncovered evidence that the Select Committee has broken House rules. These broken House rules include hiring consultants like the ABC consultant. That is against House rules and should result in a House ethics charge if proven correctly. But these are the things that need to be looked into. I will be the chairman of the House Administration Committee that has oversight over authorized spending in the House, and we will hold this Select Committee accountable for those violations.
Will you look for your investigation to be bipartisan?
Absolutely. We'll go through the committee process. Democrats are going to be on the committee. They'll be able to have their voice heard, something that has not happened with this Select Committee. And Lyndsay, I don't think a lot of people have talked about this, but I believe Speaker Pelosi wanted a partisan Select Committee like this. I'll be honest with you. She actually talked to me on the House floor about a bipartisan commission when we reconvened that evening. And she had no intention of a true bipartisan commission because she knew it would be bipartisan subpoena power. It would be non-members of Congress actually asking questions. And it wouldn't have been a show, a made-for-TV show like we saw last night.
So there's been a lot of speculation around her office, and some people have said her office has been off limits to be a part of this investigation. Is that true?
Not when I'm in charge of the committee. She knows that I'm her biggest pain in the butt when it comes to holding her responsible for the lack of security preparations in and around the Capitol. Look, we have evidence that many security decisions, if not most, had to be approved by the Speaker's staff. That's a direct line to the Speaker. She is the final arbiter of all security decisions in and around the Capitol because of the way the Capitol Police Board is structured. You and Sean and I have talked about this over the last year, and this has not changed. And here's the sad end result, Lyndsay. The men and women, the brave men and women in the Capitol Police who fought people who broke the law, who saved my life and Steve Scalise's and many more a few years ago, they were put at a disadvantage. And they are still, in my opinion, they are not as prepared as they need to be. And this is almost 15 months after identified problems like equipment and training needs were identified, and they have not been met for those officers yet.
That's really sad to hear. Congressman Rodney Davis, appreciate you speaking with our viewers tonight, and also hope to have you back before then, but also once you get your committee together, because I want to understand how this is going. And I think it's important for the American people to see that Republicans do care.
Thank you, Lyndsay. Great to see you. Tell Sean I said hello.
I will.